first of all, introduce yourself and what you have in the show.
Hi, my name is Bryan Dooley, and in the show I have works from a series called Trackstar, which is work that I made when I was in New York on during a residency, and I photographed and kind of worked with the New York University athletics team to make a kind of documentary-esque kind of portrait of them, and then the work stems from this kind of work that I made in New York.
Okay. So how many works are there in the series?
I don't really work in kind of a series of photos, and kind of work is kind of even now it keeps coming from. There's not a kind of stop point with the work, because it's more a kind of collection of my images and artifacts that kind of keep moving, and they're in constant flux with each other, so they kind of flow into the work that I'm making now, even, I'd say. So, but in the show, there's 6 pieces in the show, 5 PVC prints, and kind of 1 aluminium with PVC prints.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit more about your process?
The process is kind of, it's almost a quite conventional photographic approach, and then unconventional. I use a 5.4 field camera, which is sort of the camera with the hood, and it's a very slow process working with the subject, and kind of carrying this camera around. It's not discreet at all, and it's not quick. It's not. You can maybe take 10 images a day or 15 images a day, and you load all the film manually in the dark. So it's this very conventional, kind of conservative photographic approach, but then the sincerity is kind of discarded by its reproduction. The prints are printed on kind of a cheap PVC that's just stuck to the wall, so when the exhibition finishes, it's just torn down and the prints aren't archival at all. So it's kind of creating this kind of juxtaposition and tension between the viewer's expectations of a kind of photographic process and the way the work is then seen. I think if my images were viewed in a kind of conventional photographic nature, framed and presented archivally, then the work would become too sincere and it would just totally collapse in on itself.
Do you ascribe success onto some pieces more than others, for instance? The passivity of these two, for instance, over these, which can follow a certain narrative, perhaps.
Yeah. It's hard because in the book they could be seen as very complete images, successful in their own kind of containment on the page. And I work quite a lot with books, and it can be quite difficult because suddenly they do become an image in their own right if you're not aware of how it's kind of working with the next page. So I suppose in a sense there's 4 successful images that sit together in the book, but then I think with the installation it becomes much more the image's success. They kind of rely on each other for the success.
Okay.
I guess, in a way.
Okay, well that's great.